Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Tony here. So I did want to talk a little bit about Facebook, but before I do, I wanted to give a quick shout out to myself and my sponsor, me. I enjoy doing all this, and this is great. But if you guys want to enjoy more content that I create, or if you guys want to learn how to trade or how access to like my indicators and everything and stuff, then join the Patreon. We also do have a crypto and stock market chat, which is super fantastic. There's a lot of people on there. There's a lot of a lot of people who are growing like crazy, and a lot of people who are making a lot of money on there. Except for in crypto, because everything is kind of down unless you're shorting the market, right? Yeah, if you guys want to, you guys like my content and my videos, join the Patreon, and then we'll get into the video. Facebook, man, this thing is just consistently stays dying, right? I personally, though, I like Facebook. I do not think that it's gonna die to zero. I know it's had a tremendous loss, but I do not think that it's gonna go to zero. I mean, you have a lot of people, really questioning exactly what's going on with Facebook as of right now. I think it's time to actually, for it to actually start turning around. I think that it's found a floor somewhere between 187 and 175. Personally, though, I've always thought that I still think that it's going to come back and close this gap at 320 or so. So if you actually ended up picking up Facebook here, keep in mind you don't want to trade Facebook. This is just for long term, right? Like if you like Facebook, then I think long term it'd be an insane pickup. And right now, if you pick up Facebook right now and it goes back to fill this gap, you'd make a 71% gain on Facebook. And I think for long term, I think Facebook's going to do extremely well. For the weekly, though, I do see a bit of a recovery. I do think that Facebook at most is probably going to drop down to like 175. Maybe stay within this range, but I think maybe next week, the week after, I think we are going to start seeing a recovery back to possibly 206 or 235. I think this area is going to be a very good area of resistance, very good area of support, and just a general range. So do not be surprised to see Facebook trade between 175 and 235 for a while. But I do think that if it does end up breaking 235, I do think it's going straight to 317. And if I do pick anything up as far as Meta Facebook, I do think I probably would sell everything as soon as this gap gets filled at 320. If you look at the monthly chart, you're still hitting extremely hard candles even on the month. Like just last month, you had an open of 313. And you dropped to 211, so a full $100 drop, which is pretty insane. But if we look at the relative, here we go. If we look at the relative trend here, Facebook still has a pretty good amount to drop here, right? So I mean, I would not be surprised to see Facebook drop to trend here at like 157 or so. But I think really any range right here is an extremely good pickup for Facebook, because I think the potential upside is extremely high compared to a lot of other bigger companies. So this whole range right here, right? This whole range of 123 to like 217, I think is an insane pickup on Facebook. And I think for my long term, I will be picking up Facebook Meta around this general range, because I do think it's going to have a really good bounce and fill that gap at least at 317, which would indicate like a solid 70% gain. So I do not think Facebook is dead. I do think that it's starting to hit lows. I do think that it's going to hit the low eventually. I still think it has room to drop a little bit further. I would not be surprised to see at 175 or even at closer to like 160 where that trend is at, right? But again, long term, I do not think Facebook is dead. I do think Facebook is going to recover, and I do think that Facebook will probably recover back to like 320 to fill this gap. I think that happened on the daily when it started dropping. So yeah, I like Facebook. I'm probably going to start picking some up around these levels for my long term. But keep in mind, this is a long term up until it hits 320. So as soon as 320, that price target is hit on Facebook, I am probably going to be 100% out of Facebook, if not around 80%. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.